you have the time to listen to me whine about missing calls and awards all at once. I am one of those blaming my teammate tools. I'm toxic to morale, no doubt about it. Sometimes I spam teammates with pings. Sometimes I just shout racist things. It all keeps ramping up till I piss my team off. But I'm too good to play at this MMR. I went to a shrink to analyze my games. She says it's a complex that's bringing me down. I should be a pro, instead my team just throws. I'll quit my raging when they land the combos. Sometimes I spam team with my pings. Sometimes I'll just shout racist things. It all keeps ramping up till I piss my team off. But I'm too good to play at this MMR. Collecting reports headed to low prio.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Defense of the Patience. We are a Dota 2 podcast. I'm Cyphus, that's Roland.
Yeah, hello.
Sorry, I cut right to Roland as you were taking a big gulp of water.
I was like, yo, I'm gonna drink the rest of this, hello.
So I want to start off by saying, fuck Green Day.
Fuck Green Day now.
Well, okay, but fuck Green Day for all time, because like what we were talking about earlier, it's, we're gonna offend like 10 people here, but I don't, or maybe 100.
Maybe
people.
everybody.
I don't know.
Maybe we're the old fogey.
Yeah, maybe I'm an old fogey. But Green Day, when I was in high school, was super fucking popular.
Yeah,
and I enjoyed every bit of it. And it was about, I want to say like 2 years after I graduated high school that like I caught my first glimpse of what Green Day became on. I think it was on Stephen Colbert, back on the Colbert Report, whenever he was still doing that. And I saw them with their goth makeup and like who they like, what they had kind of transitioned into, which was what you were saying before the show. It like it's reminiscent of like My Chemical Romance and bands in that of that ilk. Which
I think like Blink-182 did the whole like that douchiness too, right?
I think Blink ever really.
Please don't refer to them as Blink.
Excuse me,
man.
I don't think Blink-182 ever did anything quite like that. Excuse me.
Them as Blink.
Please excuse me.
Okay.
All right. Another band that was super popular when I was growing up.
Yeah,
like,
me too. But like the people that listened to them called them Blink.
I did listen to them. I was in junior high when that
17 years later. Okay, let's not
I know.
call them.
I'm sorry. I snapped back into old habits.
Ugh.
But like, all right, I apologize.
My little sister listens to Blink-182.
Well,
11 years younger than me.
Yeah, well, they're like you too.
They're like
all right?
still popular.
They're timeless.
Yeah, apparently, like you know.
But so, and I apologies in advance to anybody who completely disagrees with me musically. I apologize.
It's a great song to cover.
My Chemical Romance feels, and bands of that ilk feel douchey to me. And Green Day, but I think Green Day is worse, like we were talking about before the show, because My Chemical Romance
could have been cool.
My Chemical Romance was born douchey, and Green Day
became douchey.
They sought the douche.
Yeah,
they embraced the douche.
I think it's because that's what they wanted. Like, listening to, like, I Hope You Had the Time of Your Life, because we went through quite a few old Green Day songs, like, I hope you have the time of your life. That's just not punk. Like, that is not a punk song. Like,
no.
You can't, that's a good song. I think it's a good song.
Their songs are like punk pop.
Yeah, like punk pop.
They always kind of have
that song in particular is just like a good song. Just like a good, like, has a good melody, kind of, you know, slower tempo. You know, another fork stuck in the road. You know, like, it has a pretty good message, whatever.
This is one of those
things
that I always
But they try and make it punk. They try and make
no.
the shit punk.
That particular song, The Time of Your Life, as I understand it, and this is one of those things that might like exist out in the ether that is completely false, but my understanding was...
Or as you would say, exist out in the aether?
Yeah. But that it's one of those things that like... Or it's one of the... That song was supposed to be their like, hey, we're selling out song. Was as what I was always told was that song was like, hey, we're gonna go do this other thing now.
No, they wrote that song and people were like, that's a good song, and then they're like, yeah, we'll sell out. Like, I bet that's how it went.
And maybe so, but like, you want to talk about the difference between like,
if that's the truth, then that gives me a little bit of respect for them.
If it's true,
if they wrote that song,
well, even still, okay, all right, because we
listen to it, like tattoos and memories, and I'll give on a try.
So we're. Selling out is something that like actually it's kind of pertinent to discuss now. All right, because we're gonna run at the. Can we talk about this?
Yeah, sure.
At the start of the episode, which we might have to go back in and edit in, or maybe at the break, where you're gonna hear a commercial.
.P sells out. Is that what this should be called?
Sure. .P sells out. That's
it sounds like an Always Sunny episode. Like the gang sells out.
So we're gonna be running an ad for a survey, and it is the most stereotypical corporate. Like demographics survey that we're required to run if we want to seek out advertising and
we need your help on something we don't agree with.
Well, I mean,
not necessarily don't agree with. Don't agree with is not the best way to put it. Something that I don't like a few things on the survey that you have to fill out is what I'm going to say. It is completely anonymous. This is not a survey we created. This is a survey for us to start making real money.
And we have assurances that even though it requires an email address, it doesn't send email. It's just to verify that we're using unique, that we're having unique users email, take the
or else
survey.
I would fill it out
250 times
or something like that. So like you put your email address in there, you put your gender. It is gender binary, unfortunately. And then there's some invasive questions, whatever. I promise you it's completely anonymous.
I'm going to say that like as somebody who like did statistic analysis, like a lot of the questions to me didn't feel super invasive. I get the gender binary thing, and especially like in today's culture, like it's so easy to just completely not offend anyone and just have like another option.
Just put other.
or
put in,
whether you agree with all of the gender and the self-identification stuff or not. Whether or not you agree with it, it's super easy still to just say other and still, and
you lost it on that question. Sorry, you can't properly, because unfortunately, marketing is hard for the other.
But not really. I mean, because you're talking about other people, like the self-identification stuff. It's still, you're talking about like single-digit percentage of the population that self-identifies somewhat differently, right?
Sure.
And even if that's the case, like you can still do all of your statistical analysis, and it doesn't really.
But with Dollar Shave Club, I mean, geared toward male.
Sure. Like what they're
that would be tough to get another if you were trying to collect data.
Right, but what I'm telling you is Dollar Shave Club, because they're like a corporation. I don't mean anything bad about them, because hell, there might be sponsors coming up one day. Mm-hmm. But like they don't care about the other. They also don't care about female. They care about their demographic, and their demographic is males. Mm-hmm. And their secondary demographic is people who are partnered with males. You know what I mean? Like that's primarily what they're concerned with, because they want guys who shave. You know what I mean? That's how they're marketing themselves.
Exactly.
So what my point being, like on a survey like that, you could put other and not lose anything and not offend anybody, and like who gives a shit whether you agree with it or not. Like it's super easy to do.
Yeah, but unfortunately this survey is going to look archaic because it is. But
it's super basic.
It's super basic. It asks for income and all that, which it's completely anonymous, guys, and fill it out as you please.
It asks for an income range, a marital status, a gender, an ethnicity. It asks for a lot of basic stuff.
And for all of you who have asked, how can I help? I love the show. How can I help? Like 3 people this last week were like, I want to help monetarily, and I was like, they're like, I'm going to cancel Hulu and Netflix because I listen to you guys more. And I was like, whoa. Hulu and Netflix are pretty rad. Like I wouldn't go ahead and cancel those. We're free. They're not. Just go ahead and help us out and fill out a survey.
Right. So onto the selling out topic. Like advertising will help us to like rely a lot less on Patreon, right?
We'll be able to pay our show hosts.
That would be cool.
I mean, imagine...
Well, and it's not going to be a ton of money, but like we'll be able to compensate them a little bit for their time. Mm-hmm. We'll be able to expand and grow and get like new microphones, and like we need new pop filters, it turns out, and like we definitely need new mic stands.
If I right there in the hole in my pop filter,
mine looks pretty good.
Yeah, yours is in pretty good shape. But no, believe it or not, it does cost money. And with our new announcement, which I will go announce right now, we are adding 2 new shows to the .P family.
Going to 5 days a week.
We're going to be Monday through Friday with consistent content. I'm going to let you guys wait and hear what's going to happen on Wednesday and what's going to happen on Friday. I want to give a very, very big shout out to Korean Barbecue and Wood Shrew. The .Pro show is no more, you guys, and it is a sad thing and it's a happy thing.
I think everybody's kind of felt it coming, but like it is a sad thing. It is a happy thing. Like I'm glad we got that run of 2 or 3 months with them that we did,
and they did great work, and we love them. But here's the thing: Wood Shrew's going to be a doctor, and Korean Barbecue is going to be somebody that he needs to be compensated. The guy has a master's degree from Columbia.
Yeah. We can't talk about what he's doing, but it sounds like he's got several offers.
Several offers,
and he's going to be taking one of those. And they're positions where, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to record a show in an unbiased way. And,
yeah, exactly.
In some cases, for some of the offers, it sounds like may just not be able to because of competition issues, which is completely understandable as well. Yep. But so when you see KBBQ moving on to other things, no matter what you see him doing, that like we love the hell out of that guy. Had the nicest conversation with him like right before.
He's like, I guess this is where we both suck each other's dicks, huh? And it was like, I was like, yeah, I guess it's come to this point in the conversation where we just say how much we love each other and that it was a great time.
And expect him to be a guest on like upcoming episodes and stuff. It'll be fun to have him back in that capacity too. Yeah. So
it was definitely not like you know what? Fuck Jack. Fuck Korean Barbecue. What does he do around here? Nothing. Like, it wasn't like that. We got to finally meet him at the International. He's a great guy. Yeah. And he's just working his ass off and
has been a champion for us even in those capacities in a lot of ways. So
and unfortunately, he needs to be paid something that we can't pay him.
Yeah, even with the advertising, which brings me back to the sellout point. Yes, I guess we're selling out a little bit. But Green Day was there's a difference between selling out like Green Day did. It feels a little different to me.
No, the second we start making money, I'm going for like the black eyeliner. I'm going for that look.
Okay.
I mean, Proud already kind of has it if you think about it. I mean, look, I don't know. I guess we'll have to get.
I wish we had a picture of him on the back of Wazoo,
pretending to be that Andrew was the ogre and Proud was the alchemist, the guy on top.
I think they would have been a better ogre magi, honestly.
Where Andrew was just like, okay, and Proud was the maniacal one.
Yeah, and Proud's pointing this direction.
I got the feet this time.
Okay, so
we're not like some homegrown grassroots bullshit. We were, but guess what? We now have the opportunity to make money as an organization, and that's going to mean better things for you as the listener as well. That's going to mean we're not going to be funding everything ourselves. We will actually have advertisers coming in.
Well, and more importantly, it allows us to potentially spend more time creating more content and still provide that content for free.
Yeah, and with our growth in a year's time, that could mean no one on .P has a job other than .P anymore.
Would be
within a year, like it's a possibility. We waited a very long time to start advertising. I'll let you know that we could have started advertising about a year ago, and we held off because we wanted our numbers to be at a certain point. They have surpassed that point.
Well, and just kind of to prove to ourselves that this might be a realistic option to invest time in.
And right now, it's still not necessarily realistic to quit our day job or anything like that. But believe it or not, doing a Dota 2 podcast can make enough money for 6 people who are recording once a week or twice a week to say, you know what, maybe this is what I want to do.
Well, and it'll allow us to do other things like span into, other types of podcasts and other games, other genres. And it'll
hopefully allow other things. Just so you all know, I'll reveal this information. We were planning on doing a $10,000 prize pool tournament last year in June. Not last year, this year. It would have happened June 23rd. 3rd, I believe, where it would have been reverse captain's mode. It would have been a whole entire tournament. Our funding didn't go through because it was way too complicated. Basically, we refused. Because it was just too busy.
So to unpack what you just explained, this was
unzip
something
the
that was
folder.
going on behind the scenes a little bit that we thought was going to be possible to happen.
Not a little bit, a lot of it.
The biggest issue is that unfortunately Dota has grown so much that a $10,000 prize pool is meaningless.
The teams we couldn't pull in. We couldn't pull the teams in, even though it would be a one-day $10,000
or even
reverse captain's
even
mode
where we
tournament.
thought about like there was no minimum amount we could get down to where we could have attracted like enough and the right types of teams to make it an interesting tournament.
But know that
anyway, I don't know why we should probably.
Well, I'm just saying, like there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff that was happening that you guys didn't know about, which happened that didn't happen, and we didn't make them happen because it was too soon. We didn't. Yeah. It wasn't time yet, and I'm happy to say that it is now become time for Defense of the Patients to say, hey, look, this isn't a hobby anymore. It is. We love it. But this has become something maybe a little more than a hobby. Something that we can pay people to do. Something that we can make sure that we have our travel taken care of to go to events and cover events.
And that would be the other kind of big thing is like having advertising money to be able to like just not have to pay out of pocket to get people to an event would be super awesome. And not have to go to the fans to like try to raise money to get people or like anything like that.
Exactly.
To avoid all that would be cool. So okay.
And that's
That's it.
If
That's all we got.
Is that selling out? I don't know
say.
if that's selling out. It's just shown that you guys have shown us so much overwhelming support in downloading our content and consuming our content that advertisers are very, very interested in putting their product on our show. And guess what? You know, I'm happy about that because that means we can get more people involved. We can
grow the community. We can do bigger and better things with the community. Like that's kind of our desire to do with some of that money.
Maybe those
beyond
maybe those in-houses aren't $150 every season anymore. Maybe those go up. You know?
That kind of stuff.
There's a lot of things, and just so you know, this isn't like pocketed money. This isn't something where you're going to get the same product if the advertisements start. The product is going to improve.
Yeah, that's the plan
as the money comes in.
So okay, that's all I want to say on that because I think we covered it. I mean, we hit all the important points. I have a particular bone to pick with you before we get into Dota content.
Okay. Who doesn't, dude?
Now
we have a review who doesn't have a bone?
I'm going to give you an example of something that's occurring in my life on a daily basis because of you. Mm-hmm. I'm riding in the car today. Rin's driving, my girlfriend, Grandma Ralph. And she's pulling up kind of fast on this truck that stopped at a stoplight. I'm not sure that she's seen it. And I say, hey. I lift up the left hand like, oh. I just give it like one of those sound effects, like pointing straight ahead. And she starts slowing down. She gives me an exasperated sigh. And she says, and I quote, could you not be General Denny in the car?
I'm so glad that seeped into your real
I get it all the time now. Anytime I'm offering a bit of advice or saying, hey, could we do this? Or hey, could you do that? I get whatever you want, General Denny.
Good.
That's what I get.
Good. I'm happy about that. We need to raise awareness.
Raise awareness.
I mean, the iterations of Denny first occurred when we started playing board games together, and that's when Friendly Denny first showed himself. Which Friendly Denny is the type of Denny that, I'm not here to win the board game. I'm just here to be everybody's friend.
I'm here to make the best decisions.
There's nobody.
I like a game
that I really want to harm or offend. I think Josh has definitely done most of the offending around here. I mean, I don't mean to call anybody out or anything like that, but it's definitely Josh that's been making the.
It is
the
usually you,
plays.
though. Let's be honest.
And it's like, fuck you, General Friendly General Denny.
Yeah.
There's Friendly Denny, General Denny. There's a lot of different Dennys. There's Serious Denny. There's General Denny. Yeah, I
get it all the time.
I can leave him. Like If I could like lobotomize that section of your brain, I would. Sure, yeah. I would do that. Yeah. I'd hire a doctor. I'd say, "Hey, dude,
we just want the general parts."
Yeah, just take away the General Denny parts. Where
I'd worry about the miscommunication potential there, but
No, we don't need to talk about General Denny. I'll just invite him to play a game, and then he'll feel too bad to decline. I won't, because I will continue declining. If I press accept, that means I can play a game. Is what that means.
Yeah.
If I press decline, that means I'm in the middle of setting up a recording or trying to help somebody. Call me an asshole or whatever. Sorry, I don't feel bad about it anymore.
3 more games on international solo ranked to lock in my MMR, and I think I got to do it by Wednesday.
My regular ranked is higher now.
So I've got to get these in by Wednesday, and so I will be declining games coming up this week because I've been not declining party invites the past like week and a half since we've been, or 2 weeks since we've been back from TI, and like when we came back from TI, I only had 5 games. I know. So like I should have been able to get 5 by now, but I've played too many games with everybody, and now I'm down to the wire, and I want to lock in that solo.
Mine is just okay. When I put row solo queue, and then I get in a party, that's not row solo queue anymore. That's row party queue. And no, I'm trying to stream more. I'm trying to do a lot more of that. It makes streaming a lot harder when you have a bunch of different voices going on. I'm trying to talk to the stream and trying to interact. So guess what? I click decline. Call me an asshole. Guess how much I care? Like, not at all. So, like, literally, every time I press decline, it's starting to give me, like, joy.
Oh, no.
Every time I decline.
Oh, no. Because you like doing what you're told not to do.
No, I like because
everybody's like, oh, hey, come on. Why don't you just play, why you gotta dodge? Why you gotta be a dodger?
I like being exactly what people think I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna go for. No, but when I've been pressing accept, and that's when it's like, hey, look, it's I don't have school going on. There's no recordings going on. I'm not streaming. For sure, let's get a game in. Mm-hmm. But you're gonna see that I'm gonna be partied up with Proud and Just Proud a lot. Especially as of late, I have been partied with Just Proud. That's because the new Friday show is called the Proudland Show. It's gonna be me and Proud. It's gonna be an educational type.
Yeah.
And
I'll bet it's so educational.
It's gonna be over the top. That's why we took the 2 most over the top show hosts and put them onto one show. It's all of Proud and half of me, and it's gonna be a great time. That's gonna be every single Friday, where me and Proud are going to kind of get into some dynamics on how things work. I'm obviously going to take the approach of he is master apprentice type thing. He knows more than me. Come to find out, getting to know Proud a lot better because we've been playing a ton of games together and comms and whatnot. He was a Masters level Protoss in StarCraft. Ooh. And he has a video against a semi-pro that he sent me and that he won, which was really cool. A semi-pro named Psycho in StarCraft 2, who I watched his videos all the time.
Yeah, no idea.
And Proud sent me that video. I was like, holy shit.
StarCraft guy.
Which makes sense that he goes to he likes to play Arc Warden and Lone Druid and stuff like that. I mean, it makes sense. Although we did talk about the micro and how it didn't transition very well for him either, he said. He said it's just like it felt like.
Well, that was why when we initially started this game, we were all like, "Well, you've been microing StarCraft forever. Just play Meepo."
Yeah, and I mean, all that shit you guys gave me for Meepo, I had like a 50% win rate. Like I wasn't losing more than we were winning. It's just when you lose with a Meepo game, it's like you blame the Meepo, right? Yeah, of course. Like even if it wasn't the Meepo's fault, it's like that fucking Meepo. Like don't pick Meepo next time. And of course, that was when Wazoo was at his hardest on me, especially. So like the black hole incident, why I still don't like to play Enigma. I know. It was like back in those days.
It's because of one black hole when you were like a brand new fucking player.
Yeah, and so like I wish I would have stuck with the Meepo. Like I wish I would have had friends that built me up. Because right now, I would be like an excellent Meepo.
Yeah,
By now, I would be a really good Meepo.
I always told you had the micro for it. Always.
Last night, I was playing with AG and Proud. And we're just playing games. And somehow, it gets brought up how many games has everybody played. And Proud's played like 4,000 games. I've played 3,300 games. Which is more than AG. I think I've played more games than AG. AG's like 1,000 MMR higher than me. Proud's 2,200 MMR higher than me. So in 700 games, I've got to get 2,200 MMR in order to be as capable as Proud is at this game. Mm-hmm. It hit me pretty hard when I found out that like I was like, oh, so I'm just not like inherently good at this at all, and it's gonna take me way more games than. And Proud's like, I don't know why you're so low MMR. You have good mechanics. I don't know. You fuck around or something? What? Like, why? Why do you have this low MMR? Because when I was playing with them, they admitted it that I did well. I went solo offlane Sand King, did the Caustic Finale thing, won offlane as a solo Sand King against an anti-mage and a lion in a very high skill game. It was really fun. He said your Sand King's good. He's like, your mechanics are there. I don't know why you have shit MMR. To which I assured him, I was like, because I do, like, I don't know. Because no boots natures. Because jungle tinker. Because...
And you only play ranked when you do it.
And
like,
I never...
You fuck around in ranked when you do fuck around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And last night we played a normal game and everybody was all serious. And I was just like, ugh. Like, this is normal. Like, shut up.
You're like, this is where I'm supposed to be doing this in the first place.
Like, I want to do my ridiculous shit. Like, I went Midas first on Legion Jungle. And Proud is just like, ping, 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 ping. I told you not to do that. And I was like, I had a Grey Shark build on. And I was like, Grey Shark told me to, dude. And he's like, I don't care what Grey Shark told you to do. And I was like, pretty sure Grey Shark is higher MMR than you, dude. So that's what I told him. And just the whole game, he's like, why the fuck did you build that? And I was literally just following this build to a T. Even though it wasn't what we needed and it wasn't situational, we still ended up winning. But yeah, it was funny to... Proud was like, no, you need to listen to me. And I'm like, sorry, dude, there's actually a higher MMR.
Gotta go for the higher MMR.
I was like 91 upvotes on this build. So it's like, I'm sorry.
91 people think it's way better than any advice you're going to give me.
Yeah. And it got under his skin hard. Because like the game starts and Proud's like, all right, Legion Jungle, that's fine. Get Talon Tango, get a Stout, then go Brown Boots, Blink. And I was like, yes, sir, Captain, sir. And if this were ranked, I would have absolutely listened to him because that's what I do, like the Master Apprentice thing. But this was normal. It was a 5-stack. I mean, you know. And so I fucked around. And we won. And
Did you take credit for the win?
No.
Oh, you should have.
Nope. And then I think, I can't remember if we were streaming or not, but I feel like Fafnir was giving me shit somewhere. Probably like laying in bed having a nightmare, rolling over and like, oh my god, it's a Midas in the jungle, but it was 7 minutes. It's too late to get a Midas. He'll never make his money off of it. And just rolling around. Yeah. No, if Fafnir dies before me, I'll definitely make him roll around in his grave too, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'll play Bristle and I won't get Sanj and Yasha or something 10
years
like
after Dota's completely died.
Yeah.
Doing bad Dota. You go grab a laptop and sit on top of his grave.
Hey, Fafnir, guess what? that's fucked. But I will do that, Fafnir. I'll come out to wherever you live and I'll
play bad Dota at your gravesite.
Well, I'll just leave.
Your honor.
I'll just make a macro of a Tinker Jungle that happens for infinity and just leave it on top of your grave.
With a sign behind it that says Fafnir loved this.
Yeah. Fafnir's favorite build. You'll leave a legacy. It'll just be mine. Oh man. But no, yeah, it's been fun playing. Very high skill. I was about to get all like choked up in that Sand King game where I was like, playing with you guys really brings out the best of me. But I was like, I'll save the sentiment for after the game. And then after I was like, yeah, playing with you guys, like that was really fun. Like having you, and they're like, okay, dude, like don't make me throw up, please. Like it's just a game. Because they just view it like I know how they view it because it's how I viewed StarCraft, whereas like people would be like, wow, you're diamond, and be like, yeah, so what? Like there's still so much further to go. There's masters and grandmasters, whereas now it's like, wow, you're bronze still. It's like, yeah, I know I haven't really improved at all over years
or progressed or
thousands of hours and no, I have and I know this isn't right, but I have 1,500 hours on the new account.
Yeah. And
I have 8,500 hours on the old account.
Jesus.
So technically, I have 10,000 hours played.
Definitely not game-wise, though.
No, because it doesn't match up. If I only have 3,200 or whatever on my main account, that means roughly 3,200 hours of Dota play, maybe.
Yeah. I'd even be inclined to maybe put those like 0.8 hours per game.
But you got to figure bot matches are in there, which I would say count.
Do they count towards your?
It's time logged into Dota. That's why I have 8,500 hours.
Sure. Okay. Sure. I mean, if you want to count all time playing the game.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Even bot matches.
And
although I semi disagree because a lot of your bot matches are against like passive bots.
Sorry, I thought you were going to talk for longer. Fafnir, because on stream while I was waiting for, we streamed a little bit today. This is Sunday. Audrey and I, my wife and I, and she went in to go get a drink, and I knew she was going to take forever. So I started a bot match on Storm because I was missing a bunch of last hits, and I was like, I need to get my like last hitting down with this fucking guy again. Like I'm missing all the time. And like I'm going mid, right, in the bot match, and I'm playing against passive bots, and I'm on like their high ground in a position that would totally be punished even at 1,000 MMR game, like against the Viper too, the Viper bot mid. And Fafnir is in there, and he's like, you should really practice against at least hard bots.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's always been my point. I've
like,
never played a bot match against any. I always play against unfair.
Sure.
Because I assume the AI is always going to be worse than.
But just getting me like, I don't want to. I guess why I play against passive bots, and it's probably not even a good justification, but I don't necessarily want to die because I just want to keep last hitting. I keep myself constantly at starting items usually, just so it has the same feel as the last hit, just to get like I don't know, I did this a lot with Sven, and I feel like I can last hit best with Sven, and a lot of people would argue he's very easy to last hit with, which he is very easy to last hit with, but I got that muscle memory down from passive bots because nobody was fucking with me. And those are the times why I play passive bots, those are the times that I should be getting all the last hits, is when the lane's empty. And so that's kind of my justification for playing passive bots is, okay, I'm going to pretend that no one is mid right now because the Tinker went to go get a rune or something like that, or the Tinker's ganking and I'm still sitting mid or something. I'm going to practice with nothing else fucking with me, making sure that I get every one of those last hits, because I'm missing last hits on Storm Spirit because I haven't been playing. Lately I have been playing a few games, but not like my spree that I went on, where at that time I felt like I was much better at last hitting. And then getting used to letting the minute wave push out and stacking a camp and then getting back into lane. That's super important. And that's something that I don't want some unfair bot that's like, hiding in the trees, gonna get me and then kill me. Like, I'm not looking for like necessarily like the interactions of other heroes. I'm just looking for the static map. Maybe I should play against nothing, honestly, and create a lobby, but it's just easiest to go in.
But I mean, even still, like you're potentially. And I'm just thinking from a purely psychological level.
Bad habits.
Right, that's what I was going to say. You're solidifying bad habats. You're solidifying bad positioning. At the very least.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's why I agree.
And
because he's like, you're on their high ground mid under tower. Like that's probably not the position you want to be in. And that's when I was like, yeah, you're probably right. And I will try, and I will practice hard bots, but I'm still going to practice passive bots just for that. Like, okay, I fall in love with heroes all the time, as you know. I go into passive bots because I need, like Medusa I fell in love with about 6 months ago. And I played probably 15 passive bot games where I stayed with just Wraithband Tango. And passive bots won't push, so I won't get tower gold for the top lane. Yeah. I won't get tower gold for the mid lane. It'll literally stay like stagnant, except I'll get levels. So it will gradually be easier to last hit. Yeah. But only barely. And I just practiced and practiced and practiced because I thought last hitting with Medusa was hard at first, and it kind of is, in my opinion. I still semi-struggle with it, but... Or
I've been playing a lot of
Timbersaw.
Medusa lately.
Timbersaw's fucking hard to last hit with, and so going into those situations with passive bots where, I've, hypothetically speaking, I've used all my spells and I've harassed them out of lane, now don't miss any last hits. That's the second part to harassing them out of lane, right? Is to get the experience and the last hit. And so that's kind of the reason I do it, although... No, that is just an excuse. But that's my reasoning for it. And that's like, and I don't know, I want to be like, this is private, bro. But it wasn't. It was on stream, so he has every right to be like, play hard bots, you fucking noob. But I wanted to be like, hey, bro.
Well, and he's not the first person. I brought it up with you. Wazoo's brought it up with you.
And probably only you two, until just today, and when Fafnir, because am I going to stream?
Yeah,
bots?
I guess. Well, and I guess have we ever? Surely we've talked about it on the show at some point.
Probably, maybe you brought it up. God, we've talked about
a lot of
everything under the fucking sun by now. But
Redbeard asked me how many more weeks of us not smoking were we gonna have us talking about on the podcast.
I'm done, man. It's 2 weeks today.
Yeah, well, I mean, we also,
it's 2 weeks today not smoking cigarettes that you light with a lighter.
We've been using the vapors. And
these things are fucking awesome as far as I'm concerned, because you have this intent. I mean, I don't know. If you've never been addicted to something, it's impossible for you to understand. But you have this you don't think about anything else other than that thing you want.
For me, I don't dwell. I
dwell.
really don't dwell. But like what I get instantaneous like
here we go.
We finished recording the show.
Here we go.
I know, but like shit.
Yeah.
But like I get these instantaneous like, oh, we're done recording the show, and I catch myself reaching for my pocket, like reaching for that pack.
I'm cognizant of the fact that I don't have cigarettes around me, and that it would take like a drive to the gas station. You know, I'm aware of that. It is just those moments when like crushed, like as Storm Spirit, like got my bloodstone, snowballed one, and then I go out and smoke. That's what I do, right?
Yeah,
I go out and smoke.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like that. In those moments, and for a good 90 seconds, I'd say I think, man, it would be awesome to just light up a cigarette.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm past that. I just now I think when my battery dies on my little e-cigarette thing, fuck, like that's all I think. But yeah, no, it's Dota. I mean, I conditioned myself with Dota to smoke in the car. Luckily, I haven't been smoking in cars at all for like a couple years now, because you
got a nice car and your wife won't let you.
We've got 2 nice cars. I mean, one less nice. Like, that car is such a fucking liability.
Yeah. And I feel in danger riding in that car.
Yeah, it shakes, and like, and Audrey's like, yeah, it's 8 years old. And I was like, that doesn't mean it should be like $5,000 to repair every year. Yeah. Because it's 8 years old. Like, it's still like a 2009 Subaru Impreza WRX.
But that car, she picked up that car back in the partying days. I mean, that car.
It's a lame.
That car got driven around by a lot of folks.
It collects dust now because we both just like wait for the new car. We both are just like, so let's plan our day around when we can take the new car.
Why'd you sell the old one?
It costs triple the insurance. The
because
old
you got
car,
the sport model and she put
car.
Those ridiculous rims on.
Yeah, ridiculous rims, ridiculous. The whole back is just the subwoofer. And it's like there's no storage in that car.
No, and that
it's lame.
It's a
Subaru Impreza WRX.
Yeah,
and
it's like the last thing I would ever like. When you told me it was classified as a sports car, I just wanted to laugh.
It's faster than our new car. Like it has more get up and go than our new car, but our new car is like a tank. You know what I mean?
But like I just don't think of. And I know that it's becoming more common. Like I see with I see dudes soup up the Mazdas all the time, and I guess I see a Subaru every once in a while souped up, but like. Hatchback to me has never screamed, this is a sports car.
Oh, put a wing on it, dude. And it is no. Is there a wing on? No, there's not a wing because it has the. Anyway, I hate that car.
Yeah,
she hates that car. We both hate that car, and it's still worth like a good chunk because of course, she had to get it fully loaded and everything. Yeah. And now that's the one thing that I hate about the new cars. We have the touchscreen thing. And I feel like you should never put technology in a car with how fast technology moves. Because our touchscreen thing that's in our brand new 2017 4Runner or whatever is going to be outdated in 2 years.
Yeah, well, no, even faster than that. So we were watching, those shows on CNN, they do 60s, 70s, 80s.
Sure.
So we were watching one of the 80s episodes. It was about technology and Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak and Bill Gates. And like all of that was super fascinating. Like and I suggest if you're interested at all, like I definitely say go check out that 80s technology episode. Tom Hanks is the executive producer. They're on CNN all the time.
It's not March of the Geeks or
no. This is
what is that called? So they're all, do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a documentary series called like Rise of the Geeks or something like that. And it goes over anyway.
At one point they have Steve Wozniak on there talking about how one of the things that they were worried might kill the home computer industry initially was that it was becoming common knowledge that every 18 months you were able to double the speed and the capability of the technology and get it for the same price. And it's the only industry like gas, milk, eggs, every other industry, when you sell that shit, over time prices rise with inflation. With PCs, it wasn't that way. Mm-hmm. It was 18 months later, I could get for the same price a PC that was twice as fast.
Well, look, I'm a year later, and I mean, I'm not getting 140 when I'm streaming. So I have 2 monitors, both 1080p. One is 144 hertz, the other is 60 hertz. When I'm playing Dota and streaming, just Dota and streaming Dota with all my overlays with the camera and everything, I'm only getting 60 hertz on my 144 hertz monitor. And that is definitely my GPU, because my CPU is i7 6790.
Yeah.
So there's no fucking way it's my CPU. That CPU, because I replaced that 6 months ago. Because I started out with an i5 4460.
Yeah.
And now I had to get the i7 6790K. And now my 970 NVIDIA GTX 970 is not enough. And so
it's not enough to stream it. It's definitely enough to play those games,
I can play. Yeah, I remember once I popped everything in and did it. Because I played Ark a little bit on the Mac, because it was Mac compatible. And it just was like such a miserable experience. And then we built these computers, and we arguably at the time built them for Ark Survival Evolved.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Eric was just so good at hyping us up. Yeah. I'm like, this is the game of all games that has ever been. This is going to make waves.
Even worse, because we were still in the Mumble at the time, and I would see all these Mumbles. I would see all of the .p guildies in the Mumble server, and I would see
in different tiers, wood farming,
right? Like
stone farming,
like builders. It was builders, farmers. It was it was hunters. And I was just like, what?
And I want to be involved in that. That looks
I'll
fun.
be on any of those teams.
And so I spend, $1,500 on a computer, and now here I am a year later where, I can run Ark, awesome, but I can't stream Ark at 1080p 60 frames.
Well, or even
and
worse,
I'm streaming at 1080p 60
Ark.
frames per second.
We played Ark for 2 weeks, and I was like, well, back to Dota.
I remember the first 48 hours was an incredible experience. The thing that ruined Ark for me was the fact that we came in late. If we started with them, where we're like, we don't know what happened, we just woke up, we have these weird things on our wrists, and we need to build and survive against the dinosaurs, that would have been a cool experience to be there when
instead we were getting picked up on the backs of of winged whatever. Mounts and
we had
dropped off.
You need a gun, here's a gun, here's some bullets, and put this miner's cap on so you can farm wood at night and during the day.
And it was like I don't know.
You need food, just go in the fridge. And there literally was a fridge that held all of our berries and our meat.
So we went from being dudes to woke up on a deserted island, and it's like, here's the fridge, that's the dining area.
Yeah, and it was like, well, how can I contribute? And they're like, we want to build the biggest fucking wall. It was basically
they were gonna make
Red Hot
great again.
Red Hot or Donald Trump. It was like, okay, we don't want outsiders coming in, so we're gonna build the wall 7.
It's gonna be huge.
And I did. I was like the worker. All they would do is flying mounts would come. They'd pick me up, and they'd fly me around in a circle to where I'd dump all the wood into the flying mount, because you could transfer the wood while you were flying around. And then they'd drop me off in another forested area, and I'd sit there and farm trees. Click, click, click.
Yeah, and you were just leveling up your carrying capacity too, which was making you the worst character possible.
I was just a mule. I was just a mule. Literally, I was just a mule. And they'd bring me axes so I could keep cutting down trees. Yeah. And they'd grab the wood from me, and then when I'd get home, I'd be like, wow, this wall's huge. Where'd they get all the wood? And they're like, let's take you back out there, bud. And several times I got in the middle of the night, I'm just chopping wood, and a Tyrannosaurus Rex would come up and be like, and I'd die, and they'd be like, you lost the miner's helmet. I'd be like, dude, I can't fight.
Yeah, you couldn't do shit. I just
chop down trees, bro.
No, it was easy.
And then you were off,
Well, it was easy who brought up, what made, I went off and did my own things. Fuck it. No, I was going to experience the goddamn
You and
game.
Rin went off and held hands and tamed a turtle, dude. It was lame.
Yeah, we tamed dinosaurs. I wanted to fucking ride and collect, that was the cool element of that game. I decided to do what I fucking wanted to do, because at some point
I wanted to help the collective, dude.
Yeah, but what point does that turn my video game playing time into a job?
Sorry, if you want the fridge and the dining table
and I know
and the weapons.
I say that after having played 6 hours of Elite Dangerous yesterday.
I saw that you streamed some of it.
I did a little bit.
Did anybody watch it?
I had 2 or 3 people pop in. It was 4 a.m, and I was like...
It said Rose Solo Q, thank you, because you didn't change the name.
I didn't change it before I started.
You have to change the name before you start, or the email goes out, and it says Rose Solo Q, but then people go in, and they're like, oh,
nobody showed up anyway. It was so fucking late. It was the worst time. I got an email at 2
in the morning, and I was like, oh shit, I started streaming. And I was like, fuck, we've been saying all sorts of inappropriate things about Chilled Wind. And then I looked, and it was
Why is Chilled Wind always your go-to punching bag?
I don't know.
Because you like fucking with him?
He fucks with me, dude. And he fucks with the dead, which is weird. He picks them up and and bombs them and stuff. Creepy.
But anyway, yeah. So I don't know. It was 2 or 3 in the morning, and I was like, I wonder if anybody's on. And 2 or 3 people showed up, and that was about it. And then I just fuck it.
And they were like, wow. how many is your hand on that throttle and stuff?
Well, and it was the worst time to start streaming too, because I'm contemplating ditching my fighter and stopping like the bounty runs that I've been doing, and instead becoming a hauler because our alliance fell behind the others in power play. We're number 2, not number 1 anymore. So I thought about hauling some legislative contracts, and I need a good shipping ship for that. Need a hauler.
If anybody does want to do like really boring data entry, don't, because there's something even more boring called Elite Dangerous.
It's not boring, and in fact, I like. The other night, I was just like,
maybe the most boring thing I've ever seen.
It's super relaxing, even. Like, it's nice and technical, and
there's no strategic nothing to that game.
There's a lot of strategy to that game. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, so you get good reflexes at fighting things? Is that strategy or is that reflex?
No, there's actual strategy as well. Like, yes, you have reflexes, and there is, I would argue, strategy to dogfighting.
Is the strategy where to get the cheapest HOTUS?
Ship.
No. Is that the strategy to get the cheapest thing that you can put your hand on the stick?
No, the strategy is figuring out which systems you're going to exploit versus which systems you're just going to allow to be undermined because you have a certain amount of upkeep.
All right, before I throw up,
there's a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff for the power play.
Let's just find an hour where you can just go on about that stuff that nobody cares about.
Where are we at time-wise?
And I bet 2 or 3 people will download that episode. Just like 2 or 3 people tuned in to watch it. So,
how far into the episode are we?
We're really far into the episode.
Okay, well, how about we take a quick break, and then we come back, and we'll wrap up after that, and we'll get into Dota. We'll do some State of Affairs right after this break.
Hello, everybody. This is Roland from your favorite Dota 2 podcast, Defense of the Patience. I am asking a lot of you on this commercial, and that is to go to defenseofthepatience.com, and in the top right, you will see a survey. This is going to give us money. Money that we will spend on terrible things, probably. I've always wanted a monster truck, and if you can help me achieve that, I'd really appreciate it. We've been doing this for 2 years now, and I now have a chance to get a monster truck, so that's pretty exciting for me. Check out the survey. If you don't want to fill it out, don't. But we do need some of you to fill them out. I'm totally rambling here, and I probably should have a script. But I don't have a script, and so this is going to go on for another 10 seconds because you're supposed to have a minute, and I'm at 52 seconds. Please go to the top right of defenseofthepatience.com. Help me make my dreams come true. Thank you for listening to Defense of the Patience.
And you don't want to do ads.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, you'll do those are the type of live reads people are going to get, is that kind of shit.
No, it'll be like, guess what? Yesterday in the mail, it came. Finally, my favorite rubber gloves. I've been cleaning the sink without rubber gloves for 12 years. And these rubber gloves, I didn't get a single bit of moisture in there. They breathe, they're yellow, they snap, and they are great rubber gloves.
Could you dip them in acid? I'll be that guy. I'll ask the ridiculous question about their capabilities.
We're not an infomercial. Like, we don't go over, it's not like, Billy Mays, may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
And if you order now, you can get 2 Billy Mays resting in peace. Oh, that's fucked.
If we ever do make enough to get a monster truck, you'd have to have the DotP.
Oh, and by the way, they're completely anonymous. I should have put that in the commercial. Literally, we're like, we need a commercial there, and I was like, nah, I don't need a script. I can do this. And no, I definitely need a script. I'm not really. This is a story I've never told anybody, but I at least I don't think. I was in a debate. I did extemporaneous. As you know, but
extemporaneous, for those who don't know, is you get a topic, you have 30 minutes to prepare a speech on that topic, and it's a 7-minute speech,
and you deliver it in an extemporaneous way, usually, while being informative and trying to make your case. Anyway, I had to do an impromptu speech, which is you have no time to prepare, and you have 1 minute to talk about literally any topic under the sun that could be thrown at you. Mine happened to be Carpe Diem on this occasion. And there are judges. Usually, I don't know why my judges were your little brother and my wife, but at the time they were...
Because, my brother... And, at the time, it shouldn't have been my brother.
It was your brother.
He was probably sitting there with your wife who was judging because I roped her in to go judge debate tournaments because I was former debate.
Okay, so it's his little brother... and she wasn't my wife or even my girlfriend. I just remember being like, damn. And like, she was like old and I like older, like cool, like she was an old, like because she's 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
Well, she is now, but she acts kind of like an old lady. But yeah, like I was like, wow, she's beautiful, and like was super nervous. And she's like, okay, carpe diem, and I just start going, and I'm like, seize the day. That's something that's important. So many people around the world don't seize the day. And I'm like grasping. It's only a minute.
If there are days, you should seize them.
Yeah, it was literally that bad. And yeah, so the first time my wife ever even saw me, and I'm sure she paid no mind to me at this point. This is years before we started hanging out, and many years before we started dating, and many, many years before we got married, and many, many, many years before we are about to have a child. Anyway, she gave me a 0. She literally gave me a 0. And your brother, because
and you get those ballots back. You get to see.
I do get the ballots back.
They're painful.
And her comments were like I didn't get what you meant, and like stuff like that, like really like face value-y, like lame comments that weren't constructive, just kind of like bitchy.
Yeah.
And then your brother's was like excellent, because I knew him, and we would play at Mojo's together. We would play. He was in a band and I was in a band. Anyway, I ended up getting like a 5 because they average it, and over the 2 judges, and he was judging, and he gave me a 10 and she gave me a 0, so I got a 5. and then I got on a plane that night to California and took 4th on the X-Temp tournament in California. Oh. And so I was like, damn, like I was like, she's like exactly what I want. Like, she's bitchy and she'll tell the truth, and she's good looking, and yeah.
Yeah.
And then years later, she came around and I was like, hey, you judged my debate. And Audrey lets you know where you stand with her. She's that type of person. And she's like, yeah, I gave you a 0. And I was like, yeah.
It's better than not being remembered.
I know.
That'd be the ultimate burn.
It was being better.
Not being remembered is a little bit worse than at least getting burned.
And well, she still had paid no notice to me at this point because. Or maybe she did. I don't know. This is when we first started hanging out.
It was years ago.
And
she remember now.
Well, I mean, when she's sober and I completely sober. She doesn't do she's pregnant, but even before then she's sober. But when she would drink back in those days, she would drink to a point where she wasn't Audrey anymore. She was something completely else, some sort of Cthulhu monster that was scary. And get out of my house. Get out.
She would tell us all the time. She'd look at us because she was the one who if you needed to clear the party, I'd walk up to her and be like, hey, Audrey, I gotta get these people out of my house. And she'd be like, I'm on it. Yeah. And she'd walk around the party and just get everybody the fuck out. And then she'd come back over and she'd be like, I may be a bitch, but at least I'm all of you a bitch.
Yeah, I may be a bitch, but at least I'm your bitch.
Yeah. I was like, yep, I was glad to have you on the team.
And as you all know, Denny and Denny's little brother, Dustin, they knew Audrey years, maybe 6 to 8 years longer than I've known Audrey. And I've been with Audrey now for 6 years. So they go way, 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 way back. And I became friends with Denny because of Audrey, arguably.
Yeah. I'd say so too.
You just kind of started coming over because of Settlers of Catan, if you recall. That's kind of how our friendship started.
Uh-huh. And then poker is where it blossomed.
Poker is where the friendship, where we were stuck in a car with each other for 4 hours in one night. Because 2 hours there, 2 hours back. Yeah. Hey, there's that
nobody
casino
else would
that's
go.
Close.
Yeah,
remember we found that casino on the way?
But I'll bet it's shitty poker.
Indian reservation?
I'll bet it's shitty poker.
Yeah.
Because you know how sometimes you get to those places where they play it's like everybody at most it's a weird version of Limit where it's limit but it's no limit.
It's like you can double their bet or something like that.
No, it's not even that. It's like you can bet where they limit the bets in a weird way where it's like you can only raise $1 at a time.
Oh, but it can still.
But it can go ad infinitum. So you'll get 2 people who will raise it. You'll get a $300 pot, but it takes you 150 bets to get there.
It's basically easier to just say all in. If you're at that point where it's instead of just me putting a chip in and you putting a chip in.
And where they do that weird thing where it's I have 2 increments of betting. $1 at a time or all in. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what the fuck?
No, I played that way in Mesquite once because I went into because they had just a shitty poker room. It had 3 tables.
Well, they don't make any money off at those casinos.
Well, you don't make shit off poker, really.
You do make good money off of poker in a legit in a legit room.
Yeah, I guess Caesar's Palace. Think of that room.
When you have full tables running constantly,
and the rake on a 51 table, a $50, $100,
or even better, like in Vegas, they can run 2 5 and 5 10 tables, like.
And I think they probably I know they have a 25-50 going at all times, and I know they have a 50-100 going pretty much all the time.
I mean, imagine the rake you're pulling off of that many tables that constantly, and you only need one.
And it's packed. You have to wait. Like, you put your name on a list.
You only need 1 to 2 waitresses for an entire poker room. You only need 1 dealer per table, and that dealer's definitely making more than they need. Like,
those
and they're keeping the hands moving.
Which
I appreciate.
Yeah, they do. They do keep them moving, and they're super strict with. I don't know. They're just like, they won't let you, like, if you try and pull the, like, acting like you're mucking or throwing your hand away, your hand's thrown away. Like, that's it. Like, don't act like it. You cross the line. If you say raise, but you don't put your chips past the point, you didn't raise.
Yeah.
Sorry. Even though you verbally said I raise.
No. You're thinking it's the other way around.
Other way around. Yeah, if you put your chips out but you don't say raise, there's all sorts of...
Although some casinos have rules about forward motion.
Yeah, forward motion, where if you show forward motion, you got to stick with it.
All right, I want to do a mini state of affairs.
Sure.
Super mini, because I want you to read those 2 reviews.
We have 2 new?
Yeah.
Or is it just 1?
And we have a bunch of emails. Like, we have so many emails to get to.
We can't do that tonight.
I know. If you send us an email, I know there are folks that have hit us up that have, like, just started listening to the show a couple months ago. We have seen all of your emails. We intend to read them so we can respond to them on air for several.
Well, and there are some that don't necessarily need to be read on air, but we need to write back on
some of those.
We're getting smashed from every way with.
But I do want to read the reviews because this is one of the best things.
I'm pretty sure we read Arrogant Dusty's. Listen to a few and you'll end up subscribing.
I don't think so. But regardless, if you want to leave a review on iTunes, that's one of the best ways you can help the show without, like, donating or doing anything.
Filling out the survey becomes...
And the survey
is more important than leaving an iTunes review, but doing both would be fucking great. Listen to a few and you'll end up subscribing. 5-star by Arrogant Dusty. It says constant, entertaining, and educational content. It's less of a podcast and more of a podcast network. Multiple hosts and shows covering a wide variety of all things Dota. Just a casual Dota 2 player? You'll still be entertained on most shows. Give it a try. Thank you, Arrogant Dusty. Really appreciate the review. Helps a lot. Goes a long way. Gives us some credibility. And thank you for the 5-star. Also, this is I want to also throw a disclaimer on these. We are only reading United States reviews right now.
Oh, yeah.
We need to spend like a day and go through every country. I went to like just some random country and we had like 11 reviews that have never been read, never been touched.
And those help us as well.
They really do for your country.
For some reason, they don't pop up here for us.
I wish they would just all go to the same one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Especially where they're all in English.
It's kind of silly. Yeah.
You know.
I don't understand it, but Europe is riddled with all the different countries in Europe is riddled with reviews that we've yet to read. So I apologize. There are probably some that are years old that we haven't got to. That's because I didn't even find out about this until about 6 months ago that you...
Yeah, we talked about it on the show when it popped up. Yeah. We tried to read a few of them, but...
And then the next one is Constant Updates, 5-star review by Jacob, or Jacob, or Jacob, or...
Jacob.
You
how many pronunciations you can
I was going to do like 10. Okay, so as a guy who works... And I've read this before, as you know. This is not like going to be some surprise.
Wanted to get it.
As a guy who works 8 hours a day during the week and plays Dota 2 all night, this podcast is legit, short for legitimate. They update constantly, and that's great, especially since they're as trench tier as I am in 3K MMR. Proud is a douche canoe, and Roland is a triggered defense of the mental patient. But it's all good. If you like people who love the game and want to talk about things they don't know or can't know, give this podcast a listen. I am definitely a triggered defense of the mental patient. Proud, he's not a douche canoe.
I like the description.
Douche canoe. And triggered defense of the mental patient.
That's got to be a reference from some of this other show at some point, right?
I don't.
Surely
douche
somebody's
canoe
called,
is not in my Rolodex.
Yeah, it's me. Nor is it in mine. I am proud to add it to the Rolodex.
I now know how to spell canoe. I'm happy about that. I'm guessing he spelled canoe right.
I think he spelled canoe wrong. I think it's Canoe. I'm pretty sure, and he said Canou. I want to say.
Yeah.
But hey, when you're making a new compound word, douche canoe. I think it's okay to misspell it a little bit to give it that flair.
Douche canoe, and proud is also called the bell end, which is the tip of the dick.
Yeah,
apparently. Proud's been getting a lot of shit. Guess just wait until our Friday show. Just wait until Proudland, the Proudland show, because it's all a proud and half of me.
No. Is that gonna be like your tagline?
That's the tagline. Yep, because it's all a proud and half of me. So thank you for the reviews.
Okay, give me your state of affairs in 30 seconds.
30-second state of affairs. I played 150 games in solo on my international ranked, 150 games of party. I played about 15 on my regular ranked and about regular solo ranked and 15 on my regular party ranked. And those have now become higher than the 150 games I've played.
Really?
Yes.
Where are you sitting at on those two?
2,600 on both. So I'm
okay.
2,600 player.
Dude, I'd love to, after I get my 3 solos for the international, I'd love to get
even though I played 300 games of international ranked, I'm not gonna take the scores of my international ranked.
Man, I'm tempted to not do that too, and just to run and see what I can do on 10 games on my solo ranked.
My estimated MMR on YASP is way higher than it should be. I think it's like 3,400 right now, but that's because of, like I've said earlier,
or playing with Proud.
Just Proud. I don't want to play with Ursi. He's an egomaniac. But Proud actually teaches me good things and isn't a douchebag. So,
okay.
Yeah. No. Just joking, Ursi. You're not a douchebag.
I know I'm the best on the team.
I'm better than him, though.
Ursi's the best.
He's the best on the team, which means I don't know why they don't have me as their 7th rotating player, because I can beat Ursi mid any day.
Yeah, any day.
Like twice.
Yeah.
Just by raindrops. Apparently, it's too garbage of an item for Ursi.
Kryptonite.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
No, it's just a garbage item. Is all it is. It's just a garbage item, and why would you build it?
It's a garbage item that ruins heroes.
Yeah, it's just and what even is this shit? Why would you buy raindrops mid?
I concur.
I guess especially Shadow Fiend v Shadow Fiend.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. My 30 seconds.
No, I love Ursi. Just so you know, and I just talked to him, and I'm going to talk to him right after this. Like he's a good friend, and I'm joking.
I'm at 25-35 on international solo, and I'm at 2,100 finally again on fucking international party after our we had that miserable run with Wazoo, the most miserable run of games.
I don't remember it because I've been playing
me.
So much MMR. Playing so much MMR, playing so much games.
I need to get in those other 3. I've been playing way more normal than anything lately. It's been with .P5 stacks. Rin and I have gotten into, she and I, by the way, we've had 2 days where, we probably pumped, 8 or 9 hours straight into Dota together.
Yeah, Audrey has been waking me up, and I'm like, what? She's like, game? And I was like, sure, yeah, I'll get up and I'll play.
We just got to get one of those baby bouncers out here in the studio.
I'm not too worried about it. So I stay up extremely late. I stay up until about 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. every single night. I wake up at around noon. Sometimes I would say the window of 10 to 2, I'm awake within that window. But she's highly encouraging of that sleep schedule because she said she'll take days. And I
you
take
get
nights.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that.
Show enough. Yeah.
I'll take nights.
It's gonna be funny to see what happens when that kid comes.
It's crazy.
Not to be an asshole.
It's coming soon.
I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
It could come now and live.
Yeah, I know.
Which is crazy. It would be in the NICU forever.
It'd be right,
and it would probably have problems.
Yeah,
it would
you
be
definitely don't want it.
The doctor said. So we the last time we went, the doctor said if your baby were to be born, because I always ask hypotheticals when I'm in there. He's a doctor. I ask him. Audrey does 1/3, 1/8 the amount of talking I do. I ask him where he went to school, what the process is going to be like. Is he gonna have? And then I'll throw in some jokes gonna be as strong as me? Is that the father's gene or the mother's gene?
Oh man,
yeah. This doctor doesn't like me.
No, why? I don't like you.
But he laughs still because that's what he's paid to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's paid to laugh. I think he's just paid to deliver the babies.
He's paid to deal with you for about 25 minutes and then get the fuck out of there.
No, they're an hour and a half long. We go because we go into the 3D where we get to see the baby in 3D.
Cool.
And then we go into his office where he does another ultrasound where it's just getting vitals and making sure that there's if the kidneys are good, if there is blood going to them. It was explained to me. I wasn't listening because I was talking to him because I was talking over him as he was trying to explain what's going on with our baby and being
and like, what if my baby was born today? And
I did ask that, and he's like, well, if your baby was born today, it would probably survive. He said there's a 15% chance that it would be healthy. that it would come out to be healthy. He said an 85% chance that it would have major, brain issues, major developmental issues. Yeah. At this point, the chances of, like, if Audrey was like, oh my God, I'm going into labor, like right now, and we had to end the podcast, it'd be about 30% chance that the baby would be
in danger.
We'll say. Healthy. The 30% chance the baby would be healthy, 70% chance the baby would be unhealthy.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. And of course, as we get closer to that 40 week, the chances of it being
when is she? Baby, what's the approximation on the due date?
December 4th.
December 4th.
It's like December 4th through 12th is like, I know they give like an approximation.
That'd be way early. Wow, that's kind of surprising that the odds are that good that early. 4 months.
Oh, they just upped it to 24 weeks.
Because all of September, all of October, all of November.
So 4 months early.
3 months early. 3 months.
24. Because
September 4th would be 3 months beforehand. Yeah. And so we're about a week away.
And and the baby already weighs like 4 pounds, which is crazy, is what the doctor said. Yeah. I was like, really? 4 pounds? I was like, yeah, but what? No. And he's like, yeah, it's going to be about a 10 to 11 pound baby, which apparently sucks for not me.
Not you.
Nope.
You'll be in the delivery room, or you'll be out in the waiting room playing some Dota.
No, Audrey did have that talk with me where she's like, if you don't want to be in there when I'm having the baby, like, that's okay. And I was like, no, I think I can handle it. I think I'll be fine with watching that happen. And she's like, my mom will be there, like my grandma will be there. I think I'll be fine. You don't have. No.
Oh, you'll get shit if you don't do it.
And I'm gonna have to. Yeah. But I'm gonna take the approach of like being where away from the action, but still there.
You're gonna be on the north end of everything. Yeah. You're saying? Yeah.
I'm gonna be on the end where I don't have to see the gruesomes. I'm sorry, but
like, tell you heard what? That's so terrible. My brother.
What did he do?
He's one of those guys who's like, I gotta see. I gotta know what's going. I want to know what's going on. I want to be there. I want to experience it. I gotta experience it. And then afterwards, like he was just like, he came up to me and was like, yeah, it turned my wife's vagina into Mickey Rourke's face.
Ew, dude. I
was like, oh.
Is there like a double explicit box? Because that's nasty, bro.
Yeah. So that was the only description of childbirth I've ever gotten from anybody.
I feel so discouraged. That's not a story that people should be told. That should be bleeped.
Oh, it's a fine story. That's a legit story, all right? That's how it goes.
And it wasn't. I don't need...
So if you had to play...
Did you know Joy Thief asked his mother-in-law to not be present because he wanted to be the sole care provider?
Yeah, I think... I honestly, if I were ever in that situation, I would want to be the only one in there too. I wouldn't want my wife's mother or my mother in there. Oh God, no.
Oh, my mom's not gonna be in there. She'll be like putting like Jesus oil on his head while he's coming out, dude. Like, no thanks, dude. Don't want that.
Yeah. No. I wouldn't. I think that's more importantly. I think that's and I'm not criticizing you guys by any means, but to me that feels like a couple moment. Like, this is a moment we should be experiencing.
A couple moment is going to see a movie and holding hands, okay? That's what a couple moment is.
This is a couple moment. You're bringing a kid into the world. Like, you're creating,
I need her mom there, okay? I definitely need her mom there. She's gone to the emergency room once where there was the vagal response thing where she was vomiting and passing out. I called her mom and freaked the fuck out, and I almost fainted and died. So, no, I need her mom there. I need her mom there to hold my hand while Audrey's having our kid. I'm panicking a little.
Yeah.
Not because of the child, because of the childbearing experience. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But that's going to be so fast. It's going to be at most like...
I thought it's like 36 hours.
Well, I know, but I'm saying the grand scheme of things. Like, you're going to...
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, you want to come with?
It could go like 48 hours.
You want to be in the waiting room
I'm going to wait in the waiting room. You betcha.
You have to get a shot in your ass.
I don't care.
We have to get the Tdap.
No, I got that already.
I want to see paperwork.
Oh my God,
I do. I want to see
paperwork.
I want to see that.
Proving shit to you.
I want to see that my bitch is up to fucking regulation.
No, fuck you guys.
No,
you need to take my word for it or nothing.
If you're gonna be around my baby, you need to have some shot.
Every time you guys aren't around, I'm just gonna in that kid's face.
No, you're not. No, but and there will be a new name that Denny gets, which will be Uncle Denny. The only non-annoying name Denny will have. And hopefully Uncle Denny is not nearly as bad as General Denny or Friendly Denny.
I'm gonna give that kid a lot of good advice.
Will it be Uncle General Denny at that point?
Sure.
if you exemplify General Denny in front of him?
Probably.
He'll be like, Uncle General
I believe Generals
Denny.
always come first.
General Uncle Denny?
Yeah.
I like Uncle General
General
Denny.
comes first. Okay. I'm gonna try to end this on a Dota note.
Okay.
Have you played Underlord yet?
I've won with Underlord.
Okay.
I think he's
What's
awesome.
your opinion, lane-wise?
Definitely, think of him like, I mean, this has been said so many times, but think of him like Elder Titan. I think of him kind of like Abaddon offlane, if I were to run Abaddon offlane, where I'd just get a bunch of auras. Vlad's, drums, things, Crimson Guard, which isn't necessarily an aura.
Octarine? Would you ever build Octarine on him?
Maybe. I don't know. If it were like super...
Because I'm thinking for the cooldown and then the nuke.
No, I don't know if... Maybe Octarine. I mean, it just depends on how the game's going. Like, I would definitely get Vlad's. I would definitely get, like, Vanguard into Crimson Guard, but Crimson Guard's going to come later. I would get... Proud got Echo Saber, and there's really no good reason to get Echo Saber other than the mana.
Okay.
So there's no real benefit. I guess if you've stolen a ton of damage
to maximize your attack,
so your
damage when you have damage, maximize it.
Often in a team fight, if you live as Underlord and they die, you're sitting at like 200 extra damage, and getting that double hit so basically doing like 500 damage. Then doing the 100 damage from the trap, because the trap does 100 damage to every level. And then doing the percentile. He's a Roche master, by the way, Underlord. He can't solo it, but as far as ripping a Roche down, which I'm sure it'll get patched, his Q does percentile-based damage. It does. Oh. So for Roche, percentile is excellent. Yeah. So, I think I've played him safe lane. I haven't played him mid. I've played him jungle, and I've played him off lane. He can jungle. Although I don't know why you would, because he has two spells that just help so much in like fighting one target or fighting multiple targets. So like I'm gonna say definitely don't ever jungle him, because it's just like it's like a hero with really, really good spells stuck in the jungle forever. Like really good like spells at level 3. Like I did go mid against him as Storm Spirit, and it was really cool. He was teamed up with a Nature's, and everything would seem fine. I'm Storm Spirit, I'm last hitting, whatever. And he would trap me, Storm Spirit would TP in, and I'd see it, and I'd be like, fuck. I'd get sprouted, and then he'd drop the Q over the sprout, and I'd die. And it was really cool. And this is obviously pre-level 6 before I can zip. Because you can zip out of it. Things that I think that are overpowered about Underlord is he can stun through BKB with his W. Really? Yes. If you're BKB'd, it stuns you. Okay. Things that I think are underpowered are the fact that you can get like his ult is a long cooldown ult. A very long cooldown ult, and it is basically just a team boots of travel.
Right. It's team boots of travel. Team boots of travel. That's what makes it a little bit different.
No, it's awesome. And I think that's great, but you can get X marks. You can get like all these really low cooldown. I guess Kunkka just makes him a counter to Underlord, because Kunkka can X marks you.
Well, but like and sucks. The same and Disruptor can glimpse and like
Disruptor can glimpse. And also if the creep dies that you happen to go to, it cancels it for everybody, which feels like fuck. And you see which creep it is.
What if it gave like an armor and HP buff to the creep that you were teleporting to while you were teleporting?
I think
so that it made it kind of like really cool, having to kill Undying's tombstone sort of a thing. Or you know what I mean?
If it made the creep invulnerable for a duration of 5 seconds.
Yeah, but you can't make Boots of Travel invulnerable.
I'm just saying.
I like the
creep that you're TPing to.
Right. I like that it. I like that.
I
like
feel
all
like
things,
something needs to change
something within. It mimics something within the game, but it's slightly more powerful. I would rather that it just gave like a temporary buff to the creep that it was teleporting to try to keep it alive, and made your creep selection more important.
Well, in the heat of things, like say like, oh, we hurry, need to go top. Like, oh fuck, we're in a battle and we're gonna go top, and if we go top, we can Rax and win. You're just minimap clicking that, and it's going on to whichever random creep is closest to where you clicked on the minimap, which you don't know. And I've done it a million times, you've done it a million times, Wazoo's done it a million times, where you boots a travel onto a creep because you did it on minimap, and it's the creep that's about to die.
Millions of times a game. Is how often I do that, like when I play Ember.
And that's a 120-second cooldown we're talking about. Like,
sure.
That's a 2-minute
but I'm
cooldown.
saying, but you also have the ability to, for the most part, teleport to a tower pretty safely.
I feel like nerf the fact that it stuns during BKB with his W, nerf that, and buff ult. Maybe lower cooldown.
I like the idea of just buffing the creep that you're landing on, so that it makes it a target. So like if you're two guys and you see that fucking happening, you go kill the creep, and you got to really fight to kill it.
You know what would also be
like
cool?
that same kind of reaction, like with a Phoenix Egg, with an Undying Tombstone.
So make it an aura. So it's an aura when it's casting, right? Underlord when he's getting ready to TP everybody.
Yeah.
Make it so it's like Greaves or something. So if people are around it, like they get an armor bonus. So the people that are around you as Underlord, when you hit that, you're less susceptible to dying, maybe. And everybody around you is less susceptible to dying. It's only going to last 5 seconds at maximum. And maybe make that scale so when you're teleporting...
I think I have the perfect solution. The more I think about it, the more I like. I feel like it's an elegant solution.
When it gets implemented, I'll high-five you.
Yeah. Come on, Valve.
They
slight buff.
They listen.
Slight
Hey,
buff.
Guess what? We have geographic data, and we know Bellevue gets a lot of downloads.
Sure, I'm sure it's Valve. I'm sure it's all Valve.
You bastard Valve employees that aren't patching Underlord the way he should be patched. I also put a Reddit post up the second I saw Underlord and said, Jesus, how long do we have to wait for Underlord to get a new skin? Like, let's change his model. this is what I put in. Like, the second he got released.
No, the trolliest thing.
Because he looks like shit. Let's be honest. He doesn't look cool.
No.
He
doesn't.
He looks like him and Slardar both need a rework already, dude. Like, Slardar's been out for 2+ years, and Underlord just like they added him, and they're like, yeah, 6 polygons. That's all we need. Let's just make like a cow looking guy with 6 polygons.
He does resemble a cow more than any other hero.
Yeah,
in the game.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, do ogre mage bloodlust on him, and he really looks like a fucking cow. It's awesome.
Scope that out.
It's awesome when you increase his model size.
All right, I'm doing this. I'm wrapping the show. That was a good Dota note to end on. Mm-hmm. If you guys want to find us, we're defenseofthepatients.com.
What's your take on him? I guess you already gave
I've just
your
been
opinion.
playing with him. Yeah, I'm with you. I think the ult is super lame. I really do. Yeah.
I'd love to see a pro. I'd love to see it at TI.
Yeah, I'd like to know how people are utilizing it.
I'd love to see him
properly,
in
or how they
captain's
decide to use
mode
it.
and see like a 7K game.
Oh no, Wazoo has a hilarious.
Okay,
thing
go.
on Reddit where they
Yes, I
ported
did.
in on the catapult, and then Chen teleported the catapult to their fountain. And so as the ult goes off, they come into the fountain because Chen ported the catapult.
Yeah,
and
Chen
just come
can.
into the fountain.
Well, you have to take control and then you can port things home. That's hilarious. That's funny. I've seen many things. Also, I saw a proposed Aghanims upgrade, which is make his model size 400% bigger, make his collision rate 75% bigger, and then on the description it said, he's big, he's dumb, his ult sucks, he's Underlord. And that's what his ags would be. I didn't get the caption right, but it was funny. Or it was like, he's big, he's fat, he's Underlord, or something like that.
All right.
I don't like him. I think they need a reason. I like him as a hero, it's just he looks like shit. Like, come on.
I like that they're adding another global hero. I
Look
think
how
that's a
good
cool concept.
Oracle looked, for instance. When
Yeah,
Oracle's
Oracle
a
still looks
good-looking fucking hero.
Yeah, I agree.
Techie's also a really good-looking hero.
Techies is a goofy fucking hero.
He's good-looking. Like, model-wise, he's good-looking.
The
spirits, all 3 spirits, they all look pretty good. Those got added.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like one of my favorite.
Winter
models.
Wyvern.
Doom probably has some of my favorite model.
Yeah,
you know,
and he has a
skins.
lot of
Yeah.
skins. Anyway, let's end
Yeah.
it.
All right. Defenseofthepatients.com is where you can find us and the survey. It's going to be over on the top right-hand side. Just click that. We need to get at least 250. We're just asking you guys if you want to help us. It's basic demographic data. Help us start advertising. Help us start raising money for the show so we can continue to provide free, awesome content and hopefully more of it. At .P_show on Twitter. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, all your favorite podcast apps. You can also leave us a review, as you heard the 2 reviews earlier. We're going to try to find all those international reviews and get to them soon. defenseofthepatients@gmail.com. Been appreciating all those emails. We are super behind on the email now. Like, there are maybe dozens that we need to get to at this point, but we have not. And I've been super bad about it the last 2 weeks since we got back from TI. And then, of course, the subreddit, Mr. Jay Gucci. He's our admin over there.
Follow Flub at Flub with 2 B's.
That's Flub Dota, at Flub Dota with 2 B's.
Yeah, Flub Dota with 2 B's.
And I think, that's got to be about it. Oh, the Discord, if you want to join
we just
Discord.
got partnered.
Oh yeah, we're partnered with them.
Discord partnered us.
If you check out defenseofthepatients.com and then click on the ladder tab,
we get hoodies. We have hoodies coming this way.
I
had one.
Hoodies.
I was like, cool. Captain Silverfox is getting one too, a hoodie, and he's like, awesome. My geek apparel is great. He said he has the Defense of the Patients wristband, a .P shirt, and then a Discord hoodie to go over it all. And I was like, yeah, dude, like that's programmer, like
that's as geeky as it gets.
Yeah, like if you were a sim and you had to go through programmer, like where.
I'll tell you what's funny is because we were the ones. Why didn't we give out all? We should have given away every shirt while we were at TI. I don't know why we didn't. All I see now.
It just doesn't make sense to give away Dota related gear at a Dota related.
Why would you do that? Yeah. But now that I've been home, Rin wears one that she goes to bed in. So now she has 2 variations on .P.
Oh, in my undershirt drawer, it's like I pull one out and I'm looking for just my standard. I was going to
say, I come over here and every day either you, Audrey, or Wazoo are wearing a
I have
patient shirt.
And I have 2. I have the old Defense of the Patients shirts. I have the new Defense of the Patients. Likely, if you do get one of the Defense of the Patients shirts, I have worn it.
It's got Roland sweat on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we need to figure out how to give those away.
We'll figure it out. Close the
Wednesday. This Wednesday, not just a new show, but the resurrection of the in-houses.
Season 3 with Gru T.
Yeah, check that out.
It's so funny that this guy named Legrand Vaz, which stands for like the Grand Wazoo or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Excuse me, that guy is an ingrate piece of shit.
Legrand Vaz came up with the name Grudy. That is totally stuck.
I almost always call him Grudy.
Yeah,
but he's at Grouty.
It's especially funny when he's mad and you're like, Grudy, calm down, Grudy. And he's just like, fuck you. And it's like, Grudy, come on.
We couldn't end the show without a good old Grouty flame.
Yeah.
He calls Roland Ronald too. I think he has some dyslexia.
Legrand Vaz calls me Ronald. Ronald's
a good name for you.
It's a better name because the Dark Tower movie's coming out, and now there's Rolands everywhere.
We're gonna be Rolands everywhere.
Yeah,
we're gonna be lousy with Rolands. We're already lousy with Rolands. All right, I think those are all the plugs. That's all I can think of today. So, until next time, this is Cyphus for Roland, and a brief appearance by Wazoo, that disembodied voice. And Legrand Vaz, more importantly.
Stop by, yeah.
And hell, let's get Grudy.
And big shout out to Grouty for he does some cool shit with those in-houses, and every season's getting better and better and bigger.
Yeah, they have been.
Let's break 100 live watchers.
Yeah, it's a chance to get your games casted. And cool casters, at least people I think are cool casters. And some up and comers.
I don't know, there's some guy Fafnir?
Fafna? Yeah.
I don't know. He's all right, but yeah, we have some great casters. No, Fafnir is like, he's become a great caster. I will say that. I like his cast.
All right, I'm doing this. So until next time, this is Cyphus saying good luck, Godspeed.